From research conducted amongst Amazon Amerins, there is clear evidence that foods from Carbon Agroforests support superior heart and brain health, and prevent brain degeneration and degenerative diseases in general, and Alzheimer's and dementia in particular. As examples: A. The loss of brain volume with age, something typical in the case of Alzheimer's, is 7 times less compared to what it is in the absence of Carbon Agroforest foods. B. Atherosclerosis, the main cause of cardiovascular disease, CVD, also appears to be largely absent amongst those that consume Carbon Agroforest foods. All these exceptional health benefits occur in rather standard diets, with a mix of carbohydrates and meat and/or fish. In the studies, all foods are provenient from Amazon Amerind-influenced parts of the Amazon forest, but this is similar to what Carbon Agroforests are and what significant parts of the Amazon forest are, and this so for thousands of years. The diet includes the consumption of raised animals. These for meat-raised animals are exclusively fed by products produced by the Carbon Agroforest parts of the Amazon forest as well as kitchen rests from the communities. The studied group presents high inflammatory markers and does not have access to traditional health care. In non-Carbon Agroforest food diets, high inflammatory markers typically prejudice health and increase chances for degenerative diseases, but despite them, the study results confirm the exceptional health as mentioned above. So it is expected that with health care and reduced inflammatory markers, the observed impressive health benefits will become even more important. For now, the same research is not conducted and cannot be conducted amongst non-Amazon Amerins, because non-Amazon Amerins do not, yet, dispose of Carbon Agroforest foods, simply because there is not enough production, distribution, marketing. Such additional research would however be extremely interesting, or even essential if we really want to use our potential and solve our challenges. There has been demand for these Carbon Agroforest foods from non-amerindian non-scientists, this for the obvious reason that they wanted to know these foods and improve their health. As said, and despite the research amongst Amazon Amerindians going on for over a decade, unfortunately this additional research amongst non-Amazon Amerindians is not conducted, yet. Once the Carbon Agroforest Action Plan has taken off, and we humans will dispose of abundant Carbon Agroforest foods, this important additional research will be possible and relatively easy to conduct, including with high numbers of participants. The research amongst Amazon Amerins initially was conducted because it was systematically observed that they presented exceptional health and relative absence of diseases and relative absence loss of cognitive function and brain volume, even in members of advanced age. Further, members of advanced age remain active and socially functioning until natural death, and healthcare is near to totally absent. The researchers initially expected or hoped to find a very special food component or expected a lifestyle component that could explain the subject exceptional health, but they did not find any of these. This makes it clear that the benefits are exclusively caused by the Carbon Agroforest foods and the Amazon Amerins' food habits themselves. The diets are not Mediterranean, and no olive oil or wine is consumed. This does not prove there will be no health benefits if used in combination with Carbon Agroforest foods. Resuming, there is clear evidence that the Carbon Agroforest food and not the diet, nor the lifestyle are the cause for the observed superior health associated with the consumption of foods produced by Carbon Agroforests. Unfortunately, and at least for now, the consulted studies relate to foods from Carbon Agroforest, but do not distinguish between diets, traditional, vegan, vegetarian or carnivore. This lack of dedicated research, of diets and components like olive oil, wine and many others, in this case not consumed foods or food additives, of specific diets, does not negatively affect the extremely important conclusion of the unedited and exceptional benefits from the consumption of Carbon Agroforest foods. When such dedicated research will be done in the future, it is not impossible that the conclusion will be that a mixed diet would come out as most beneficial. Dedicated research of non-Carbon Agroforest foods, foods provenient from traditional agriculture practices, should be conducted separately, and is not the subject of this video, series, or channel. Exactly because there is lots of information already at hand, however there seems not to be overall consensus on this matter yet. Possibly, the here proposed research amongst non-Amazon Amerind consumers of Carbon Agroforest foods will illustrate the relativity of the actual discussions of which foods and diets are best, and will move the attention to the source of the food being from traditional agriculture or exclusively from Carbon Agroforests. Several of the foods from Carbon Agroforests are so-called superfoods or very nutrient-rich foods. They also are organic, but this does not mean that these are the only explanations of the benefits of these Carbon Agroforest foods. Because the research diets are dominantly composed of carbohydrates, the benefits are expected to be also valid for vegans and vegetarians, but also for all others diets that include carbohydrates. Because the research diets also include meat, and because the benefits are so extreme, the same benefits are expected to be also valid for carnivores. Apart from the unique health benefits, the diet also is of the interest for all humans that have interest to see all humans thriving, while solving thoroughly all their challenges, including all climate challenges. This video is part of a series, and is to be continued.